Hello, welcome everyone. How you doing? How everything is going? So, hello Josie, hello Valently, happy. How you doing? How are you doing? Everything is fine over here. I got some pain in my bones, but I'm good. What about you? Pain in bones? Oh my god, are you frozen there or what? Oh, this sucks, man. I hope you get well soon. Yeah, I hope too. Damn, what the fuck. Hello, Tori, how you doing? Hello, Loyalty. Thank you. I'm fine or not. I slept so terrible today because my cat, after vaccine and all this stuff which they do to her, she was so stressed, and like after vaccine she was frozen, feeling not well, so I was trying to heat her all night. So yeah, something like this. Can't say I slept well. Yeah, but now seems like she getting better, and now she's almost okay. Yeah, so but it was terrible at all. Yeah, that's all. That's all I can say. It was terrible and awful and horrible yesterday, and a little bit, yeah, yesterday and at night today. So I wake up like cucumber. So sounds like this, yeah. Hug Luna. Yeah. So sounds like this. What about you guys? How everything is going there? I also got my poor finger. Yesterday I cooked and potato was run away from me and I got my finger instead. Bitch. Bitch potato. Potato bitch. So sounds like this, yeah. Yeah. Ooh. This is 10 and this is 8. Was 14. Oh my god, I'm stupid. 14 and 10. Okay, 14 and 10. We need why potato? I don't know. Freaking potato. Let's kill him. Oh, I forgot to take my lamp with aroma lamp. This is the mother's life. You can sleep well when you have to take care of your meowsy children. Yes, that's exactly. So, but I think really like cats like children's, you know, like them. They really need care, so much care. And 10, okay. 11, 10. So, will we listen today? Some stories? I saw Donatello and Strawberry are still separated, but I don't see Strawberry drunken anymore. I think it looks more good than they be together in one place. So this looks better. I was about to put them together, but I don't like it's be good. There and there. So sounds like this, you know. 14 and 10. Oh, do, do, do. Mix it. Mix. Mix it and fix it. Or not fix. Who knows? freaking hair! Going in the hell for? Bitch! Yes. I'm okay. I'm alright. Harrison is good. Or not. Freaking 4. Damn, I hope it will be nice. What the fuck is that? So. There is so relaxing. Yeah, I'm so relaxing. Everything is good. You see, I'm so calm. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I ensure when stream is over, they hug each other and sleep together. I'm sure. So your hair looks wonderful, but that's not unusual. You're perfect like always. Thank you. Hello, Tatoni. How you doing? Welcome in. How was the pet visiting yesterday? Pet visiting? You mean vet clinic or what? Good on you. I'm fine too, Tony. Well, at least I trust. I believe in it. So, pet clinic. Yeah. Josie. Violently happy. Tell me the truth. Did you heard what I said several minutes ago? What I was talking about? What the fuck? Oh my god, Josie. It was horrible. She was so stressed. 12, 14, 10. She was so stressed. It's terrible. She just said it was stressful for Lonita. I wanted to know step by step. What I can say more, Josie? Like, terrible, it's terrible. Like, she felt not well after this. It was stressful because they keep her trying to do vaccine, trying to do analysis and other stuff. Can you imagine? It's a cat. She didn't know that it's for her health. Of course it's stressful. So, yeah, terrible. Like, but then you should ask another question. Like you said, you want to know step by step, but you ask me just, how was the visit? I just say it was horrible. Just ask me, like, why it was horrible. Like, what happened or what else? How was the visit? It was nice, perfect, amazing. So, yeah. Next time they told me before visit, like if we will do some analysis, they told me to take some relaxing stuff 2 days before we will come to the clinic, and I will give to her 2 days of calm stuff that she will be calm and not so much stressed like yesterday. So yeah, next time I will take this special calm thing. Well, it's firstly for Luna B, because like she need to be calm and more peaceful. Yeah, but unfortunately it was not this time. They didn't told me to take something like this. So, and it was so stressful. I definitely don't want to know the details for Luna. Yeah, it was so terrible. I was crying so much yesterday also, because the result of analysis was not so good, and I was crying and trying to find some food, some recipes of food, because I want to give her natural food, because before I every time feed her dry food, so for cat, and now I want to make her eating natural food, like raw meat with some, of course, mixing. Yeah, and well, of course, analysis not so good, but also so much of situation, so much of factors can make influence on the result. But I think this is the beginning, of some kidney disease, and we need to take it on a route to not make it worse. But my doctor seems a little bit strange. He said like, how you feed your cat. I told, and he like, probably this food didn't match her health, like maybe need to change. Then we talk, and he like, he likes like, okay, let's continue feed her for 3 more months this food, and again do some analysis, ultrasound and other stuff. I'm like, did you just say that like this food not so good for her, but you told me to continue to feed her with this food? Does it make any sense? Like, I was so like, damn, are you doctor or you kinda not doctor? Well, it's a little bit was strange for me, and all this information was in my head, stuck in my head. I was thinking, trying to find the way, and crying much yesterday. I was in definitely saddest emotion for the last time. But I think everything will be nice. I step by step trying to prepare Luna for the raw food. Because cats who all the life was eating dry food, when you give them natural food like raw meat or other stuff, they not much like it, because they used to for the dry food, and they don't know how to eat this raw food, and like it smell and maybe it's good, and they like step by step little trying to eat it, and it's so long way to do it fully raw feeding. So wish me patience and luck. So what the hell, yeah, definitely don't make sense. It's like stupid. And before was the same situation, when I did for Bibi. Hello, good evening, how you doing? Before was the same situation when we had surgery, like Luna had surgery. We ate some dry food. Luna ate some dry food. And after surgery, he said like, let's feed the same food for half a year. Maybe it was not this food, maybe it was something another. I feed in this food for half a year, and what? Again we have sand in bladder. What the fuck? Tell me just, like, if you think, if you even suppose, if you have suggestions that this food is not good, why I should continue feeding my cat with this food? It's experiments or what? Didn't you wanna help my cat? Or you want that my cat will get more worse and you will get more money because there should be so big healing, so big like stuff to do? What the fuck? I just don't understand, honestly. And with kidney, it's a total terrible thing, because on the first stage of this disease, there is no symptoms. You can notice kidney disease when it's like 60-70%, even 80% of kidney dead. Then they will notice and say like, oh, don't feed this food, probably it's not mature cat. Are you kidding me? So, and I'm so glad that we figured out it so early, because I have chance, Luna have chance to not getting worse with this thing. Maybe we even don't make it to flourish, you know? So I hope everything be nice, and I will do all what I can for my beautiful cat. Sorry, I think nothing on earth deserves tears. I'm sorry for you. The good thing is that when you go to Poland, maybe there you'll find... Oh yeah, I hope so. Mother told me that they have near their house some veterinary doctor, and she seems good, so I will be happy in 2 months, because it doesn't make sense to do again analysis in so less time. In 2 months I will go and do again analysis with my cat, and hope the results will be more good. Yeah, because this doctor also told me that don't be upset much, because this analysis can be a little bit not truthful, because cat had so much stress, and and plus other stuff can make influence on the result. So we need to see the results in dynamic. So in 5-8 weeks, come again and do analysis. I'm like, in 5 weeks, coming to you. Not. I will go to another doctor, so, and hope there be more nice result, because 2 months, I think it's enough to make cat eating raw food, which I will prepare for her. So something like this. Yeah. The bad joke goblin has entered your stream chat. Do you listen to this joke or chase him away with a stick? Buxton, what the heck? Well, what the question is? Listen. 35 streak, amazing Totoni! So good streak! Wow! Oh my gosh, thank you for being here. Thank you for being with me. So, yeah, and I hope they in Poland will be more good doctor, which really help us. Because this kidney disease, it's obvious, even if it's not so truly results. it's obvious that something going wrong, and we can like, for example, take some analysis, other analysis, to understand. But he said like nothing terrible, how it can be nothing terrible if when you take this disease on a first way, when it's even not first steady, you can at all don't reach the first steady, because you will kill it before it will hit you. But my doctor seems stupid as a brick. That's all what I can say. And plus, he stupid more as a brick. Because I told him to do also calcium and bilirubin for my cat, and he didn't do that. He said like, for the kidney, it's like, we didn't need this. But I asked you, bitch! If I asked you. Sound gun. Please, give me the result and analysis. Why didn't you take it? I was waiting for it half fucking year. I was half a year thinking of it to do this analysis, like bilirubin, calcium, phosphorus, kali. So, and all of this stuff. Phosphorus and kali he did, but bilirubin and calcium not. I was so upset. Terrible. Yeah, I hope you find a better word in Poland. That word sounds like a... Yeah! But the most funny thing, that this is the best clinic here. And before it was really best, like 10 years ago for sure. 10 years ago this clinic was for sure so good. But now... Oh my god, I forgot! My veins almost became dry. Damn boy. So yeah. Something like this, and it was best, but for now they just stuck on same level, and they didn't grow up. They didn't interested in growing up at all, seems like, because I don't see anything that they trying to grow up. They just continue to be shitty as a hell, bitch. So I asked you, bitch, yeah. It's so strange for me. Like before, I also want to make T4. It's for... I forgot how it's named on the English. T4 analysis. It's for thyroid. Yeah. And he said like, I don't see any sense to do this analysis. I'm like, okay, but let's do other, which I told. Then I get result. And I'm like, where is fucking calcium and bilirubin, bitch? It's not there. My patience. It's gone in the same moment as I get freaking results. Oh no, my god. So, yeah, you can feel my pain, right? Let me finish this little area and we will start to listen other scary stories. There is little piece left until my pains are open. Pains are open. What the fuck? Why you don't mix it? Okay. Sounds like they only care about business and not animals' health. That sucks. Yeah, it's like. What the fuck? Why don't I have on the screen? Oh my god, I need to fix it. Who? Yeah, I'm sorry for you. I got a bunch of pics I generated. I will share in Discord in some minutes. Okay, interesting. Hello, Benny, how you doing? You didn't think my collab story. You didn't think my collabs because why? Oh my god. Hello, Benny, how you doing? So. Let me find the scary stories. Dead of Night horror stories. Okay, seems like I find something. And I need secret room. I clap because it's finally just chat and stream. It's second just chat and stream, Benny, also. Not thirst even. Damn, it's better, but I don't like it. Bitch. I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. That in my head. I don't care, I pink the town red. She devil, she get like the devil. She get up to the pedal. Don't remember, you know. Who you calling bitch? My veterinary doctor. Luna's veterinary doctor. I'll send 6 pictures in color and 1 in black and white if someone want to paint it. Let's see. There, I don't see. You still probably send it yet. There is nothing in our chat. Poor doctor. No, it's poor me and my cat. Bioga, hello, how you doing? Didn't send yet. Okay. Waiting. I tell you when it's okay. Okay, alright. Meow. Ah! Love it. Let's make it more beautiful. Let me do it again. For you and your cat. Yes. It's meow music time. Meow music time. Meow 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 meow. 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 This is the warming up. Meow, 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 meow. Meow. This is me when you didn't hear it. I usually warming up before stream, not on. Damn, bitch. Meow, meow. Dancing. Meow, 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 meow. Mix it, mix it. Fix it, fix it. Yeah, boy. Mix it and fix it and fix it. Let me take a little bit water to mix the color more properly. I'm so stupid. Why I didn't use water before? This is acryl. It will mix more good with the water. Please, bitch, not in this place. Well, I will have it like this, bitch. Hey, Size Bong. Hello, how you doing? Meow it up. Meow it up. Meow it up. Beat. Discord is updating. I love it when you need some program and it's like, I'm updating, waiting for me. I know you're in rush, but I don't care. I love it. This is my Windows when I need to quickly start the stream because it's 6 p.m. also instead of 5. So yeah, sounds like this. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you. Don't forget me, oh babe. I remember you said. Let's listen. Horror story. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Wait. But I forgot I want. Okay, let's listen first story. Bitch.
I've always enjoyed late night walks. There's something about the stillness that makes everything feel simpler. I'm a welder by trade, been doing it for over 40 years now. I live alone on a big farm, just me and my dog Bosley. The house is too large for one person, but I never had the heart to downsize after my wife Maria passed away. My kids moved out years ago, and ever since cancer took her, it's just been me and Bosley. One night, after a long day in the shop, I decided to go for a walk. My property is pretty big, so just a single loop is usually enough to satisfy my craving. The air was cool, and Bosley trotted along beside me. Sometimes I think he likes me more than I like him. I've walked that loop hundreds of times, but as I was heading back toward the house, something caught my eye. I glanced up at the second-story window, the one that looks out from the bedroom Maria and I used to share. For a split second, I thought I saw something move. I stopped dead in my tracks, staring up at that window. There was no reason anyone should be in there. I hadn't been in that room in years, couldn't bring myself to. I felt my blood start to boil at the thought of some stranger breaking into my house. I wasn't going to stand for that. I rushed inside, my heart racing, and ran upstairs. The room was empty, just like I'd left it. No sign of anything out of place. I looked everywhere imaginable, but found nothing. Yes, I was pretty freaked out, but I was more angry than anything. I didn't take this kind of thing lightly. I figured I had just seen something that wasn't there. I stood there for a while, feeling foolish, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something had been there. The next night, I woke up to Bosley growling. He's a good dog, never barks unless there's something to bark at. I sat up in my bed, listening. That's when I heard creaking coming from upstairs. It could have just been the sounds of my old house, but my mind went directly to footsteps, which were coming from right above me. I'm sure you could guess which room is directly above mine. I debated grabbing my hunting rifle from downstairs, but didn't want to go that far. If it came down to it, I was fully confident that I could take whatever was up there hand to hand. I grabbed my flashlight and went to check. Again, nothing. The room was exactly the same, untouched. My anger was definitely starting to turn into anxiety at this point. Something didn't feel right in the house. The following night, I came downstairs to find the kitchen lights on. I know I turned them off before bed. I don't leave lights on. There was no question anymore. Someone was in my house. I started to panic. I called the police and told them I thought someone might be sneaking around. They came out, searched the house from top to bottom, but found nothing. They were nice about it, told me to call again if I needed them, but I could tell they didn't believe me. The next night was the worst by far. I couldn't sleep, so I decided to go upstairs and check the bedroom again. I don't know why. Maybe I thought it would settle my mind. But when I opened the door, I froze. There were clothes scattered all over the floor. Maria's clothes. I had packed them away after she died. Now they were everywhere. Something like this doesn't just happen randomly. And then I saw her. There was a woman standing in the doorway, just staring at me. I couldn't see her face clearly, but I could tell she wasn't Maria. She was too short. I don't know who she was, but she didn't belong there. I had never been so afraid in my life. Without thinking, I ran at her. She turned and bolted down the stairs and out the front door. By the time I got outside, she was gone. I searched the property with Bosley, but there was no trace of her. I didn't sleep that night. For months after that, I couldn't sleep. I was constantly on edge, convinced I heard footsteps upstairs at night. Every little noise set me off. I slept with my rifle next to my bed, terrified that I'd have to use it one night. Every little noise set me off. I debated calling my brother to come stay with me, but I wasn't going to do that. I was raised to always handle my own shit, so that's what I did. The nightmare didn't end, though. One night, I was sitting in the living room when I noticed a figure standing in the yard, looking straight at me through the window. It was her again. My heart felt like it stopped. I grabbed my hunting rifle and ran outside, Bosley close behind. She was still there, just a silhouette in the moonlight, watching me. I fired a few warning shots into the air, hoping to scare her off. That was enough to get her to turn and run into the darkness, but it's not like that made me feel any better. I was literally being tormented by some random woman who was probably homeless. I couldn't even imagine why this was happening to me. I stood there for a long time, waiting to see if she'd come back. She never did. I haven't seen her since, but I know it's only a matter of time. I'm fully prepared to defend myself, but I don't think living in perpetual anxiety like this is sustainable. Thank God for Bosley. I have no idea what I'd do without him. I'll send an update if anything happens.
Damn, it's terrible. Size Boink, welcome to our club. Hope you're enjoying being here. I think the most terrible thing is when someone who you loved dead, and then it's happened like this, like it's really terrible because, like, can you imagine to see person which dead also, and you see this person in your house? It's like the most terrible thing ever. So I think so. What do you think about this? Na na, all I need. Na na da da da. Mm-hmm. With more light. Yeah. Lightning coming, don't in a minute darkness, stars, stars, stars. Eh, nah! Rank! Move! Ooh. I will probably digest the animal. Yeah, me too, probably. Like, it's so scary. Can you imagine to see someone dead in life? Scary. It's a scary. So, story 2.
I work for a catering service, which means I'm on the road a lot, usually late at night. I spend most of my time lugging stuff from place to place in this massive truck the company makes me drive. It's not the worst job in the world, but the hours suck, and it's not at all what I thought I'd be doing with my life. By the time I get home, I'm either so wired from caffeine that I can't sleep, or I pass out the second I hit the bed and stay that way for 12 hours. I was driving back home one night at like 2 a.m. It was nice to be driving my own car again. As I was approaching my house, I realized I had probably had one too many Red Bulls and there was no way I'd be able to sleep. On top of that, I hadn't eaten in hours and I was starving. There's a McDonald's right off the highway about 10 minutes from my house. It's usually my first choice when it comes to late night snacks since it's just so convenient. I'm not even one to gorge myself on fast food. I just occasionally get this weird craving that only a handful of fries can satisfy. It's obviously 24/7, and I figured some comfort food would be the perfect thing to help me wind down. I don't remember exactly what time it was, but it was definitely after 2 by the time I pulled into the drive-thru. There were a few cars ahead of me, which I was actually kind of surprised by. It's not like this McDonald's was a busy spot at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. As I was sitting there impatiently, I found myself staring off into space, wondering what was taking so long. That's when I noticed something strange. There was an old, beat-up Volkswagen with its windows tinted backed into a spot in the very corner of the lot. The McDonald's itself was only accepting drive-thru orders at this hour, so it didn't make sense why there'd be a car in the lot. There were reserved spots on the other side for employees, so it couldn't have been one of them. I figured it was maybe just someone eating in their car, which it probably was. I myself did that from time to time, so I guess I couldn't judge. It was just an odd sight, to be completely honest. I got my food and started driving away. I didn't want to go home just yet, but I also didn't want to just sit there idling my car. I began racking my brain, trying to think of a good place to scarf down the food. I live in a pretty lush area, so there's honestly a lot of options, but I didn't want to beat around the bush too much considering how late it was. There's a massive nature preserve literally down the street from my house. It's situated on a mountain and is essentially just an enormous forest. The kicker is that there's a scenic lookout point at the peak with a view of the city. There's a road that loops around the perimeter of the preserve and will take you right to the peak, which is nice during the day. After the preserve closes, though, the road is inaccessible to cars, but still a convenient path to get to the peak without having to walk through any woods. I used to go there with my friends from high school all the time. It was kind of a default spot when we wanted to be outside. We'd hang out, talk, smoke, or just appreciate the view. I actually hadn't been there in a while because I was just so busy working all the time, so I figured going there would deliver a much-needed nostalgia rush. When I got to the preserve parking area, it was completely empty. I say parking area because it wasn't a traditional parking lot with spaces for cars, but rather a big patch of gravel that veered off from one of the roads that ran past the preserve's border. Like I said, the actual preserve was closed, meaning I'd have to walk all the way up to the lookout spot from outside. Before I could even turn off the engine, I saw headlights pulling into the lot. That was unsettling enough on its own. Who else would be here at 2 a.m.? And then I realized what I was looking at. It was that same Volkswagen from the McDonald's parking lot. I was 100% certain of it. I parked a little ways away, and the engine cut off. I felt the unease start to pour in. What were the odds of that happening naturally? Had they followed me? My window was partially rolled down, and as far as I could tell, there was no music coming from that car, or at least none that I could hear. After nothing happened for a good minute or so, my fear started to fade. They were probably doing the same thing I was, out for some fresh air or a smoke. It's a pretty popular spot for that kind of thing, but I was just so weirded out considering how late it was. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, even though I concluded that it was just one of those unexplainable coincidences. I sat there for a minute, debating if I should just go home. I didn't want to leave, but I didn't want to be alone either. I picked up my phone and FaceTimed one of my close friends who lived a few minutes away.
Bon appetit,
I told myself that if he didn't
happy.
pick up, I'd just eat my food in the car and drive home. He was actually awake though, which I was a little surprised by. He said he had been up writing a paper. I convinced him to swing by and hang out for a bit. He was down. He said he'd be there in 10. While I waited, I kept my eyes on the Volkswagen. It still hadn't moved. I tried to shake it off, telling myself I was being paranoid. When Sebastian finally pulled into the lot, I felt a lot better. We both got out of our cars and began walking up the path. Before the parking lot fully receded from view, I shot a glance backwards. The Volkswagen was still there, but I saw all 4 doors open at once. 4 guys stepped out. They just stood there for a few seconds looking at each other. They weren't even talking, just looking around at each other. It was freaky. I nudged Sebastian, who realized what I was looking at. Before they could see us, we continued walking up the path so that the lot was obstructed from view. Alarm bells were going off in my head, but Sebastian didn't seem that concerned. He told me they were probably just going out to smoke. We kept walking, and by the time we got to the top, the city view was enough to take my mind off things. We always sat on this little rock wall that was supposed to keep people from wandering off the edge of the mountain. We sat there, eating and talking like we used to. It was nice. Of course, that nice feeling didn't last very long. We heard the sound of talking and laughter quickly approaching us. We turned around to see 3 guys walking towards us, sharing what looked like a blunt. They were acting friendly enough, which definitely calmed my nerves a little. Instead of finding their own spot, though, they walked right up to us like they wanted to start a conversation. The guy in the blunt was covered in tattoos and had a nose ring. He honestly looked pretty intimidating. He flashed half a smile before asking us if we wanted to smoke. We both said no, and one of the other guys laughed and called us pussies, to which Sebastian scoffed at. My curiosity got the better of me, and I blurted out a question about what they were doing at McDonald's. The guy holding the blunt dropped his smile instantly and narrowed his eyes, like he was caught off guard by my question. His 2 friends did the same, staring at us with cold expressions. They didn't say anything for an uncomfortably long time. That's when I remembered that there had been 4 guys in that car, not 3. One of them was missing. At that point, I was fully prepared to run. I knew Sebastian was thinking the same thing. Finally, the ringleader told us that he worked nights and that he had just gotten off. He pulled his hoodie up to reveal a McDonald's uniform, I think because he knew we wouldn't have believed him otherwise. He then went on to say he came to the spot every day after work to smoke with his friends. While that definitely calmed me down a bit, something about this situation was terribly off. I could tell Sebastian felt the same. We decided it was time to go. As we started walking down the path, Sebastian stopped and pointed into the trees. I followed his gaze and saw the 4th guy, half hidden in the darkness. He was holding something, but I couldn't make out what it was. I felt my heart start racing. The moment he saw us looking, he started moving. That's when we ran. We bolted down the path, glancing back to see him chasing us with the 3 other guys close behind. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would burst. I could hear their footsteps getting closer, but I didn't look back again. We finally made it to the parking lot, jumped into our cars, and floored it out of there. As I was speeding away, I could see those guys rushing to get in their car. I didn't feel comfortable driving home out of fear that I'd be leading them right to my house. I called Sebastian and told him we should meet back up on his street. We had a decent head start on them, and I don't think we were followed, but I wasn't taking any chances. When Sebastian and I met back up, we were still in shock about what the hell just happened. I don't know if they were trying to rob us or worse. I didn't know what to think. Sebastian showed me his phone and said he had snuck a picture of them while they weren't looking. He sent it to me, but I wasn't sure what to even do with it. I had off the next day, so I convinced Sebastian to come with me back to the McDonald's so we could at least report the employee. The next day, we approached a guy on the younger side in hopes that he'd listen to us. We showed him the picture and told him what happened, and his eyes widened. He told us something literally out of a horror movie. Apparently, that guy's girlfriend had also worked at that same McDonald's and had dumped him a few months ago. He didn't take it well and would harass her while she was working and stalk her after her shifts. He obviously got fired, but that didn't help. The police were involved shortly after, and there was a restraining order put in place. Apparently, he had been violating that restraining order because he was camping out in the parking lot. Sebastian and I were horrified. I have no idea why he'd decide to follow me, but it was clear that he was unhinged. I'm praying that the police catch him camping out in the parking lot, because then he'll actually be screwed. I just hope he doesn't recognize my car anywhere. It's only been a week, but I haven't been back to that McDonald's or the preserve since. Hopefully the police are able to do something, but that's out of my control.
What the fuck is that happened with this man? And it's true story. This is a true story about all the lies you fantasized. But you and I, this is a true story about all the games I know you play. No, this is not what I need, not what I want. It gonna happen to me. Give me love, give me love, give me love, 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 love. I'll play the villain if you need me to. I know how it goes, yeah. I know the roll the cameras, please. Turning like a dime, wasting all the time. Sneaking like a creep in the night. But I play whatever, but you need me to. Hello, blog. How you doing? Welcome in. So, is this a Wendy jumper? Why Wendy? No, it's my jumper, Russell. It's my jumper. How you doing, Russell? Hello, hello. Hi, blog. I'm drunk tonight. Thought this was going to be tomorrow, so a bit surprised. Surprised to get drunk. Well, funny. Draw any more pics, Josie? Koala? Picture of page and it's on Discord. Yeah, let me see. Let me look at it. This is it. Oh, koala, lol. Damn, it looks strange, but funny. This inspirating designs for today's spooky stream. Thank you. So, blog, choose one which you like. Very cool. Yeah, I love it. Funny. Full moon tonight, so I was dancing and singing by the river. Really? Amazing. So cool. Like a river, like a river, like a river, like a river. Shut your mouth and run me like a river. How do we fall in love? Harder than a bullet could hit ya. How do we fall apart? Faster than a bullet could trigger. Don't you say it, don't you say it. Don't say it, don't you say it. One breath is just break it. So shut your mouth and run me like a river. Shut your mouth, baby, stand and deliver. Holy hands will make me a sinner. Like a river, like a river. Shut your mouth and run me like a river. Oh, everyone knows if you want to fall in love, you dance under the moonlight. Dancing under the moonlight. Ooh. Damn, like a wolfman. Are you a wolf bloke? Wolfman, come in here. So guys, I need secret room so quick and take heater because it's cold here. So be right back so quick, waiting for me. And we'll continue listen story 3. I'm back. I have beer. What is that blog? It's some song? Or what? Dawaruski, how are you doing? Come here. What the hell kind of fruit is that? Pear. Bon appetit, thank you. We will not eat it. Doing alright, how's it going? Going good. We're drawing a picture here. Hi Victoria, the story. Hello Ed, how are you doing? But you will not eat it, baby. You will? Okay. Boom. Hello Tsukrus, how are you doing? I'm chilling. It's a good thing. Yummy. You good? Music is too loud. Do you like beer, guys? Is here also lying down. Don't want anymore? Then here. This is what you left. My baby. Do you feel better? My little bunny. Victoria, do you know you draw amazing and Tori sing amazing? Oh, thank you so much. Cute. Yeah, but that looks like some crazy homegrown, not genetically modified pear. No, it's like normal pear. It's not home pear. It's from the store. But it's regular. Didn't you saw such a pear before? It's a big pear. It was like this. I like pears, but this pear is kinda so crispy. Why it's so crispy? Like it's kinda not rape or what, I don't know. It's like okay, it don't have such a powerful taste, but I remember that before I took this type of pears also, and it was soft and yummy. But with this one something wrong. So, ooh, Lenita, yeah. I really want a collaboration with Tori and Victoria. Collaboration? Of what? Usually the ones I see are smaller. Well, I also have some smaller pears here, but sometimes also this one exists. I don't remember how it's called. The sort. Like Conferetti? Don't remember. Want to see what? Wed? Because it closed. Come here. Yes. No? Okay. Alright, I messed up. So hi, sorry. What? I'm fine. What about you, Ed? This is it. Mmm. Yummy. I believe I can fly. Oh shit. I was in the forest and I eat mushrooms now. Oh really? Which kind of mushrooms you find in the forest? I'm doing good, just forget the up things. I'm trying. Why it's lagging, bitch? It's kind of microphone lagging? Interesting. Lying down, my baby. He's warm. I take a heater and put chair near the heater to get the chicken lying down. Dope Lemon for the song list, my favorite band, link on Discord. Okay, but they song Dope Lemon like it's just for listen right now? Are you like what? There exist channel song recommendations. Why you send it in the general chat? It's because you're drunk, block. Oh shit. I will take a look on it. Your cat really nice. Yeah, I love her so much. It's so sweet, Lunita, there next to you. She gone. To eat, maybe. What's the name of cat? I forgot. Luna. Luna, the name of the cat. Luna, 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 Luna. Oh, this is a Luna. Let me see what score here. So it's 14, 12, and 10. 14, 12, 10. Just like I thought. I was supposed to mix all the stuff before. Thank you, thank you. Lol. Luna go back in cam? Cam? What? That's for Luna. Yeah. So... what colors I took? Oh my god, it's not what I need. Shit. Oh my god. I need to fix this thing. It's in a health on the screen. Seems like I fixed also such a thing, but probably on the other scene. What the fuck is that at all? What the fuck it was? Just tell me. What the fuck? Oh my god. On Kamara? Whatever is that? Well, I explain you. I tried to pretend that Tori and Victoria is both different, so that was the thing, but I didn't continue that. I think he wanted to say come back in Kamara. What is Kamara? Good evening, BJ. How you doing? Well, ah, shit. Welcome in. Oh no. I touched accidentally. Wrong area. Like pink in your area. Camera on stream. Ah, don't understand. Like she go in and he said on camera. From the camera then, because she gone. What the heck is happening here? Oh my god. Da, 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 da. I thought you understand mushroom language. Remember that I speak with aliens here. Oh damn boy. Welcome back, violently happy. We have some strange stuff here. So, story 3. Let's listen. Pew, pew. Let me do it. More volume.
Forgive me if I don't remember every detail of the story. It happened a while ago.
We don't forgive
I grew up
you,
in
bitch.
Ardmore, Pennsylvania. Not much goes on around here, so finding things to do can be a challenge. In high school, a few friends and I would sneak into and explore old, abandoned buildings. That's the sort of thing we did at that age. I didn't realize how popular that kind of stuff is until many years later. Apparently, lots of people like to explore abandoned buildings. Anyway, there was this abandoned church that we'd been to a couple of times before. It was in Narberth. I actually remember the exact address, 198 Elmwood Avenue. The place was creepy, but it was kind of our go-to spot for late-night thrills. One fall evening, a few of us decided to hit the church and drink a little inside. It was a chilly night, and the air had that crisp bite to it. There were 6 of us, me, Luna, Gina, Johnny, Max, and Allie. The church sat behind an 8-foot chain-link fence, which we had to climb to get in. The doors were all boarded up, so we always went through a window on the side. Once you were inside, the first thing you noticed was the floor, or lack of one. The entire first floor was just dirt. It looked like someone had ripped out the floorboards years ago, leaving only a hole in the center where a set of concrete stairs led down to the basement. That's where we always ended up, down in the basement. The basement had 3 rooms, but only one had a door. The other 2 just had door frames. The first room we went into was the largest. There wasn't much in it, just some old furniture, broken chairs, a busted couch. I remember having to shush Johnny like 12 times because he was a lightweight, and the tiny bit of alcohol he had was making him really loud and antsy. Being in such a big group was always a plus though, and I felt much safer knowing we had numbers. We messed around for a while, drinking and laughing like we usually did. We might have had a speaker playing music, but I don't fully remember. Out of nowhere, a door slammed. I literally jumped. That's how loud it was. We froze, staring at each other with concerned expressions. At first, I thought one of us had closed the door by accident, but no one was near it. Almost immediately, Luna, Gina, and Johnny made a break for it, sprinting up the stairs, leaving me, Max, and Allie behind. We were the fearless ones, and none of us wanted to leave just yet. My heart was definitely pounding, I fully admit that, but I wasn't going to let the wind freak me out. I could tell Max and Allie were thinking the same thing. I don't know if it was curiosity or stupidity, but we decided to investigate. After standing in silence for a few minutes, the three of us crept over to open the door that had slammed shut. Behind it was a small room, and the first thing I saw was a dresser. The mirror on top of it was cracked, and there were red stains smeared across the surface. At first, I thought it was old paint or something, but when I got closer, I realized something terrifying. It wasn't completely dry. The stains still had that sticky sheen to them, like whatever it was hadn't been there for long. I felt the hairs on my neck stand up, and I was having second thoughts about not leaving sooner. Someone, or dare I say something, had recently been in this room. Then I saw the picture. There was an old photo on top of the dresser, a black and white shot of a woman in a wedding dress. She was smiling, but there was something off about it. The whole thing gave me a bad feeling. I backed away, but just as I turned, we heard another noise. This time, it wasn't the door. It was coming from one of the other rooms. It was coming from the room we had just been in. That's when Max and Allie both decided they'd had enough. I wasn't going to argue with them. We grabbed our stuff and ran out of there as fast as we could. When we climbed back over the fence and hit the pavement, none of us said a word. After jumping the fence, I turned around, and I could swear I saw the silhouette of a person standing in the open window. I still pray that by some minuscule chance my mind was just playing tricks on me, but I'll never know for sure. My friends and I never went back there together for as long as we remained friends. I've actually been back to that church myself, although it wasn't a church anymore. By the time I got around to checking it out again, it was completely demolished. I still have no idea what we saw that night. I'm just glad my friends were there to witness it with me. Had I been alone, I might doubt this whole thing even happened. If anyone wants to do some digging, go ahead. I was never able to find out anything online, but I wouldn't be surprised if that church has a history I don't know about.
Damn, it's terrible. Oh my god, we have another one. Sound loud. Sound loud. Next story, come here.
There was a
Damn,
brief
it's
period of
loud.
time that I lived alone. When I freshly moved out of my parents' house and before I met my girlfriend and she moved in, I lived in a small one-bedroom apartment in the downstairs of someone else's house. I spent a lot of time alone during this period of my life, besides when I was at school or work, and so I spent a lot of my time watching movies. Specifically, I liked watching scary movies pretty often. Even as an at-the-time 21-year-old guy, I still would be a little spooked trying to sleep after watching a scary movie, especially living alone in that apartment, and every time I did, I would look around the room. At a few points, I would even turn the bedside lamp on just to check around the room.
Emotions.
The tenant upstairs wasn't home that night, as his car wasn't in the driveway, so the sounds I was hearing couldn't have been footsteps upstairs or anything like that. My nerves were really starting to set in at one point because I just kept hearing noises, and to be honest, I couldn't tell from where in the house they were coming from. I got up to head over to the door of the bedroom and opened it. Outside of my bedroom was a very narrow hallway, which had a door to the bathroom, and then at the end of the hallway opened up to the living room. At the end of this hallway, though, like a scene right out of the movie I had watched not even an hour earlier, there was someone standing at the far end of the hallway right by the kitchen. The moonlight from outside coming into the bedroom windows and the windows in the living room was enough to see her, this woman looking right back at me. She started to walk backwards while still facing me. I didn't care though. I still screamed and backed into my room before slamming the door shut and locking it. She didn't come running over and pounding on the door or anything like that. Instead, I heard running up the half flight of stairs to the exit of my apartment, and then the door slammed shut. I was frozen in shock for at least 10 minutes before I felt okay to take my phone and leave the bedroom to check the apartment. It didn't take long. It was a small apartment with not many hiding places. It was empty. I rushed to lock the door, wondering who that could have been and how they got in. I didn't call the police. I couldn't tell you why. But the next day, I called the landlord and told him about it. He made a phone call to the upstairs tenant, and what I learned shocked me. The woman that broke into my apartment was an ex-lover of the man who lived upstairs, a crazy one at that, and after finding his address somehow, she broke into the wrong part of the house, my apartment. The upstairs tenant came down to my door and apologized to me that following day, but I never got much detail from him or the landlord. I still wonder what that woman was planning on doing to him.
Ew. Damn, it's terrible. What the fuck?
I'm not a fan of my dad's girlfriend at all. Not from the start. Her name is Kathy. My dad has been widowed since 2019 when our mom died. And I know he's gotten lonely and he's pretty much ready to settle with anybody now. Even Kathy. And against my warnings, he doesn't listen. I've been seeing her do some sketchy things around the house and it's really starting to freak me out now. I'll start from the beginning. I have 2 siblings, my 10-year-old brother Jake and my 2-year-old brother Scotty. From the day he introduced her to us, I didn't like something about her smile. It was just unsettlingly wide and exaggerated. Pretty soon he'd start bringing her around a lot more, and I just never loved her honestly. But at first it was only because I felt something was off about her personality. Then things started happening. She's been staying with us for a while now, and a few weeks ago, I caught her in my dad's closet while he wasn't home. My dad's safe is in his closet, along with where he hides the combination and some other valuables. When she saw me at the doorway, she smiled and said, "Hey, what's up, sweetie," to me, with her annoying, creepy smile. I didn't say anything other than nothing. Then she shut his closet door and I walked away to my room. I told my dad about it, but he didn't seem concerned. A few days after that, while my dad was at work again, I just got back from school and I was walking upstairs to my room. And as I saw Kathy leave my little brother Jake's room and shut the door behind her. I asked her what she was doing in his room. She smiled and said, "I was just opening the window, it's hot in the house." I didn't answer and walked up to my room. When I heard her go downstairs eventually, I snuck to Jake's room to check if she actually had opened the window, and both windows were shut. Something was up with this lady and I knew it, and I still know it. I told my dad again, and in response, he asked me to just please be patient with the situation and that he knows I don't care for Kathy. I didn't bother telling Jake. Fast forward to 2 days ago. Jake, my dad, and I were all not home, and Kathy was babysitting Scotty. I came home unannounced, but I wanted to be secretive about it because I wanted to see if I could catch her doing anything again. I snuck into the house and went to my room quietly. Eventually, from the kitchen downstairs, I started to hear Scotty crying. Not regular crying, like a very distressed kind of crying, and I heard Kathy screaming at the top of her lungs to shut the F up. It was the first time I heard her raise her voice, and I believe it was the first time I was hearing her true colors come out. I ran downstairs to yell at her to leave my brother alone. She was startled and shocked that I was home, and for the first time, she didn't give me her creepy smile. She looked at me blankly and went downstairs and shut the door. I called my dad and told him right away, and that night, my dad had a conversation with her about it. I don't know how it went, but I assume not good, because that night, I woke up in the middle of the night to something, and looked up into my room. There was someone in my room, and they quickly left the room and shut the door behind them. I got out of bed and opened my door, and as I got into the hall, I saw and heard my dad's bedroom door close. I went over to my dad's room and opened the door, and both Kathy and my dad were laying in the bed. I woke my dad up furiously and told him Kathy was just in my room. She denied the whole thing, saying she was in bed. I don't know if my dad believed me or not, but he told me to go back to my room and he'd talk with Kathy. I obeyed, and I heard them whispering as I shut the door. I went back to bed, and I was scared. I'm still scared. I want her out of the house and out of our lives. I think she's dangerous. Why was she in my room? It's freaking me out. I worry for my family's well-being, and I don't know what we can do.
Damn, that's all. What the fuck? This kitty is terrible. What the woman is it?
This one goes back a few years ago to when I was 30 years old. I was at my condo in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. My condo, which I still own, is on the second floor of a decently nice building that I won't name for privacy reasons. Whenever I go down there, it's in the colder months up north, and I'm a complete beach bum when I go down there. Luckily for
Complete
me, I work
beach.
remotely from my job through my laptop and phone, so I've been able to retreat down there whenever I'd like. Fort Lauderdale is for the most part a pretty clean and safe city, and the specific location my building is in is no exception. That is, usually. It was the middle of January. It was late at night, past 10 o'clock. I was out on my balcony with my feet over the railing, on my laptop, when all of a sudden I heard from down below on the ground someone yelling something. They were yelling, "Yo," and "Hey you." At first I didn't
Yo.
move, taking the assumption that whoever it was talking to someone else. They couldn't possibly be calling up to me. But they followed with, "Hey you up there." And my heart skipped a beat because now I knew they were talking to me. And my main question was, why? I set my laptop down on the chair and looked over the railing down to the ground below. There was a guy in front of a car in the parking lot, looking up at me, and he said, "Yeah, you." I asked,
Yeah,
"What's up?"
you bitch.
He told me to come down there so he could show me something cool. I took a better look at this guy. Some guy with a backwards hat and tank top on. I assumed he was just some punky kid messing with me, so I ignored him and sat back down. When I did that, I heard him laughing as he said, "I'm gonna come up there and skin you alive, you prick." I stood up again and looked at him. He had this unsettling and sinister smile on his face. I realized he looked older than I initially thought. He wasn't some kid. I literally opened my mouth to shout something back at him, but for some reason, I didn't bother. I grabbed my laptop and went inside and shut the sliding door. I expected him to yell up a couple things afterwards, but I didn't hear him do so. As uncomfortable as that made me, I felt much safer being inside. I chalked it up to just the occasional coked-up Florida lunatic on the streets. But things became next level when the silence of the room was broken by pounding on my condo door, accompanied with a voice yelling obscenities and threats at me. It was the guy again. The bangs were so loud I was genuinely concerned he was going to break the door down. All I could do was yell, "I'm calling the police." That didn't faze him. His bangs turned to these carving and stabbing noises. It probably all lasted for about a minute or two, but felt like a century until he gave one more loud angry bang, screamed one more obscenity at me, then left. I knew because I checked through the peephole. I called the police after the ordeal just to show them and report it to them. On the other side of the door, there were several stab marks in it, confirming I did hear him stabbing at it and confirming this man had a knife. I pray nobody was harmed that night. I doubt he knew me. I think he was just a really drugged out crazy person looking to hurt someone.
Damn, what the shit. What the fuck at all? Can you imagine? What the fuck? What the fuck? Damn, this story is crazy, and it's the real stories, you know, like what the fuck? Okay, story 4.
I once spent a night in jail. I know everyone says it, but I didn't do shit. I was attacked by a bouncer at a nightclub in my hometown because some girl who I had history with was there, and she had the nerve to lie to a bouncer and tell him I was touching her and her friends inappropriately, when I never even said a word to them. The bouncer came and put his hands on me and started pushing me out of the club, and honestly I pushed back in my drunken state. And of course, cops were outside the bar, and between a drunk guy and a club bouncer, who are they gonna side with? Well, I end up handcuffed in the back of a cop car and I'm escorted to jail, where I spent the night. All that was in this cell was one wooden bar for sitting on, and this other guy besides me. He asked what I'm in for, and I told him for bullshit. I took one look at the guy and I knew I didn't belong here. He had tattoos on his face, he was missing a front tooth, and he just had this face that said, "Don't mess with me or I'll cap you." I didn't want to rub him the wrong way, so I just tried talking with him if he talked to me. At one point, I did open up to him a bit just because of my anger at the situation and I needed to vent. During this time, I told him some delicate info, like where I was from, which is definitely the nicer side of town. I told him how I had people over that night since my parents were away, and we all pre-gamed and went to the club. I basically told him the rundown of the whole night. Since I was drunk, I wanted to just try and sleep, but he'd keep talking to me and it was getting annoying. Eventually, I think he caught on and shut up. The next morning, we had to go to court because, yes, sadly I was charged with assault and trespassing. 2 bogus charges. My cellmate had to go too. I saw the judge before him though. He was one of the other offenders in the back of the court listening to my charges. I was released with a future court date set. A complete nightmare. But that night, when I was at home, and all the windows were open, so I heard everything from outside, I was hearing footsteps circling the house. Multiple sets of footsteps. I started to shut all my windows one by one on the first floor. Then I got to the backyard door, which is a sliding glass door looking out to the deck. I curiously flicked on the deck light, and immediately, two dudes ran out from the light into the darkness. I recognized one of them to be my cellmate. I closed the blind to the door and continued closing the rest of the windows. I couldn't believe he found me, but he was obviously there to rob our house blind after I told him how my parents were away. He must have seen dollar signs when I told him the side of town I was in, and he probably heard my name called in the courtroom, and one quick Google search of my simple name turned up my address. The two dudes took off, I believe, because I didn't hear from them the rest of the night. I never told my parents I was arrested, and because of that, I never told them about how my cellmate almost came and robbed our house.
What the fuck? It was just the Kuala International Mushroom Club. Oh yeah.
This is something that just happened to me, and I don't know how to feel about it other than freaked out. I'm not a spiritual person at all. I've been on and off seeing this guy named Spencer. I met him through a coworker one night when we were out together at a bar, and we hit it off. I finally introduced him to my family, and while my parents were indifferent about him, my grandparents didn't really care for him, my grandma especially. They both said they saw something bad in him, that he doesn't seem like a good guy. My grandma mostly. This wasn't after one-time meeting though. This was after I brought him around multiple times, and everyone could get a good idea about him. And honestly, I started to see what they meant, because Spencer and I would get into constant arguments, and he would lose his temper fairly easy on me. For this, we'd be on and off constantly. There was one night that I felt like he was about to raise his hands to me, but he held back and then calmed down. This was when I said, "I'm done," and dropped him. Or so I thought I was going to. My grandma was especially happy and said I could do much better. Then she went on about how I should go find a nice Italian boy from a nice family like she always did. Anyway, not long after this, my grandma died of a heart attack. During my grieving, I hung a picture of my grandma up on my wall in my room to commemorate her. This was only a month ago. I'd been having a horrible month. And out of weakness, when Spencer reached out to me 2 weeks ago, I answered, and we saw each other. We had been seeing each other every night these past 2 weeks, and I really thought he had changed because we hadn't argued a single time, and I just felt safe around him. Well, only a few days ago, Spencer and I agreed to be official boyfriend and girlfriend, and that night, I woke up to a crash in my room. I panicked and flicked on the lamp, and it took me a moment to notice the picture of my grandma wasn't on the wall anymore. I got up and saw the frame had fallen to the floor and cracked. The picture frame I hung of my grandma had fallen and cracked on the night I agreed to date Spencer. I held the frame in my hand, my heart in my throat, my whole body shaking. I called Spencer the next day and told him I think we should go our separate ways for a while, as my head isn't in the right place. And he blew up on the phone in anger, and that phone call proved my grandma was right about him. But that picture frame falling and breaking, what could have caused it? There was no draft in the room. Even as I imagined that it was somehow a sign from my grandma, do you realize how freaking scary that is?
What the fuck is that?
I took my Jeep on a
Stop. This is the next story. I have another alien mushroom for painting design, but I'm gonna keep that one for next Halloween drawing stream, okay? Okay. Alright, okay. Are you kidding me? Just like this car. 11 and what? It's blue. It's blue. Double D, double die, double D, double die, double D, double die. Are you kidding me? Oh. How I should mix it. Damn. Okay, next story.
road trip to Colorado to do some off-roading in the wilderness. I was doing a bunch of trails in the Red Feather Lakes, and I was ending the night off on the Dead Man's Road Trail. It was a somewhat challenging trail, but the scenery was unbeatable. I packed a sleeping bag and planned on sleeping in the back of my Jeep with the back seats folded down. I pulled somewhere off the immediate trail, just off the slight chance some other night drivers would pass by. But that was very unlikely. I guess people can call me a weirdo for enjoying off-roading on my own and camping alone, but I've always liked doing things solo. I use the word camping because I do consider this to just be luxury camping. Instead of being in a tent, I'm in the back of my Jeep in the middle of the woods. I ate some of the protein bars and other snacks I brought as my little dinner. Then I set up my sleeping bag in the back. In case you're wondering if I was doing this in the dark, I had the LED light bar on my Jeep on, which basically lit up the entire surrounding area pretty nicely. So I finally crawl into the sleeping bag, and I'd be lying if I said it's comfortable sleeping back there. It's the price to pay for off-roading in the sunrise for me. I had the windows all closed to avoid bugs getting in, but I still heard everything outside. And then it happened. I heard a voice from out in the woods, followed by a short, loud laughter. As deep into the trail I was, there's no way someone was just walking around out there. Not in this total darkness. I looked out the windows expecting to see headlights or taillights somewhere, but nope. Then I heard the voice again, much clearer. I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman at first. I was shaking now though. Someone was out there, that much was clear. Though I was hearing a voice, I didn't know what was being said just yet. And then I laid there, waiting for it again, scared to death. For a while, just crickets. Then, much closer now, I heard in a clear voice, belonging to either a woman or a young boy, "Hello, I see you there." Now I was ready to throw up. I wanted to move to the driver's seat and drive, but I was too scared to move. I felt like if I just stayed laying down, that whoever was out there wouldn't see me. I know that makes no sense, but hiding and not moving was me clinging on to the hope that this wasn't actually happening. Then, there was one loud bang on my rear windshield, and I jumped up and practically dove over the two front seats into the driver's seat. And I started the car and drove as quickly as I could manage down the trail, scared they were running after me because I could only go so fast on this rocky terrain. I was scared to look in the rearview mirror, but when I did, I didn't see anyone through the red glow of my taillights. It was a nightmare. I was tired, but drove the rest of the trail until I was back on pavement. Then I drove for miles until I reached a motel. Some people have asked me, what if it was someone stranded who needed help? And I say no way. No one's out there that late in the pitch black, laughing without a flashlight that deep on some trail. And they wouldn't bang on my windshield just once like that if they weren't trying to scare me. People are messed up. Always watch your back and be woke to your surroundings.
What the fuck? Poor man. It really was scary.
This is one of the few unexplainable events I've experienced in my life. I was home upstairs in my room, writing my paper for my history class. As far as I knew, I was home alone. But apparently I was mistaken, because my mom's voice called out from downstairs, yelling my name. I called back, "What?" She didn't answer. So, slightly annoyed because I didn't want to be interrupted from my train of thought on my paper, I reluctantly got up to go downstairs and see what she wanted. When I got downstairs, I looked around for my mom, but she wasn't anywhere in sight. So I yelled out, "Mom?" And she yelled back my name in response. Her voice came from down in the basement. So I went to the basement door, but strangely the lights were off. I called down the stairs, "Mom?" again, and she called back. I yelled out, "What are you doing down there with the lights off?" She didn't respond. I flicked on the light and went down the stairs. I heard my mom call my name again as I was near to the bottom of the steps. It was getting weird. Each time she called my name, it sounded exactly the same. Like there was zero difference in inflection every single time she said my name. I yelled out "Mom" again, and she once again yelled back my name. She was nowhere to be seen in the basement, but then I noticed the little crawl space closet door was open. I call it that because it's a weird closet that you have to kind of crawl into, but it takes up a large chunk of the basement. That was the only place left in the basement that my mom could be. So I said "Mom" one final time. No answer this time. I went closer to the closet door and got on my knees just to try and look in. It was pitch black inside, and I was starting to get freaked out. I said, "Mom, are you messing with me?" There was no response at all, just the quiet buzzing sound from the basement light. I got back up and for some reason decided to sprint back upstairs, slamming and locking the basement door behind me. I didn't know what I had just witnessed and heard, but I went to grab the house phone and call my mom's cell number. It rang a few times until my mom picked up, and I learned that she was out grocery shopping. I told her, but she didn't believe my story, of course. She thought I was messing with her. It took half an hour of begging her to believe me that she finally went along with it, and when she and my dad were both home, we all went down to the basement together. The closet door was still open. My dad went inside, but there was no one in there. This still remains to be the most haunting, unexplainable experience of my life.
What the fuck is that? Was like someone was in their house.
I was only about 9 years old when this happened. I was sleeping over my grandma's house for the weekend, which I often did when I was little. It was a stormy day out, and my grandma was out at the nearby grocery store getting ingredients for dinner. I was in the living room watching SpongeBob when the phone rang. There was obviously zero reason for me to answer the phone, but you know, I was a little kid with a little kid brain. There's no explaining any decisions made.
Little kid brain.
I went to the kitchen and picked up the phone, and after my little kid voice said hello into the phone, the man's voice on the other end said, "Can I speak to the adult in the house?" I said, "She's not home," and the voice responded, "So you're all alone right now?" I remember I paused for a second, then said, "Yeah." Even at my age, I knew after he asked that it probably wasn't a good idea to have picked up the phone. The person on the other end then asked if the current address he had on file was correct, but I didn't answer that. I hung up the phone, and now I was nervous. I was worried I might have just gotten my grandma in trouble. Nonetheless, I went back to watching SpongeBob. 20 minutes later or so, there was a frantic knocking at the door. I muted the TV and listened. Along with the knocking, someone on the other end cried out, "Please help." It was a man. I snuck over to the edge of the wall where the opening for the front door was to take a peek and see if I saw anyone standing on the other side of the door through the glass at the top of the door. That was a mistake, because I did, and they saw me too. The man on the other side of the door immediately said, "Little boy, please open the door, I'm hurt bad." I ran to the corner of the room by the window and closed the blinds so I could hide behind the couch. I was so scared. There were no cell phones back then. I couldn't call my grandma. The man kept pounding on the door, his cries for help turning more annoyed sounding, and his knocks got louder and more frequent. Then the pounds on the door stopped, and he started knocking on the window right next to me. The creep started saying things like, "I'm not gonna hurt you," and "Please, I'm bleeding bad." I started to cry in the corner, still hiding behind the couch. The pounding stopped finally, and after a minute, I ran to my grandma's room and locked the door. I laid in her bed under the covers with only my head sticking out. The rain hitting the windowsill and the occasional distant thunder was weirdly calming, at least for a little bit. The man on the other side appeared at one of the windows and started trying to lift it open. Thank God all the windows were locked. Now I hid under the covers completely, and I don't think he saw me in there. This was the last time I saw or heard that man. 20 minutes later, I heard my grandma come in through the front door. I ran into her arms, crying and apologizing, and told her everything. She of course called the police, and when the officers needed me to give whatever details I could, my grandma called me into the room and I answered their questions. Then she sent me back off to the guest bedroom to watch TV. Unfortunately, that man was never caught, for this at least. My grandma never told my parents, and she told me not to tell them either, but she also never left me alone again anytime I slept over after that, which wasn't many times. Long story short, I was one unlocked door away from undoubtedly being kidnapped.
What the fuck? Damn, and it's horrible that it's true stories.
I'm a father of 2 kids. They're 15 and 10. My wife was out of the house at the time of this happening. I was in my room taking a nap in the middle of the day. My older son is always in and out all day, every day with his friends. So when I heard the front door constantly opening and closing, it didn't concern me. But eventually, when I heard the storm door slam shut for a 4th time, I started to get annoyed and whistled at him to quiet down. I started hearing other loud noises from across the hallway, in the direction of my younger son Keith's room. I imagined he was playing with his wrestling toys or something. Regardless, even with my door shut, the noise got to be too much. It was just like a constant thumping sound. Like, what could Keith possibly be doing? When I went across the hall to his room, the noise became more clear, and it was this literal thumping on the wall sound. I went into his room. The door was already opened. I said Keith's name angrily, but I didn't see my son. I saw some grown man facing the wall, banging his head into the wall. There was blood on the wall from his constant banging. The man gave me a side glance without turning his whole head. I managed to tackle the man to the floor, and that's when Keith emerged from under his sheets where he was hiding. The man didn't fight back. He started yelling the psychotic mumbo-jumbo, proving his lacking sanity. I told Keith to go get the house phone while I held the man down. After calling the police, I was in that same position for at least 5 minutes before they arrived. The man just kept smiling and laughing and saying things that made no sense the entire time. The man was ill or on some serious drugs, or both. I didn't press charges, and I'm sure he was taken somewhere to get the help he clearly needed and to get him off the streets.
Damn, what the fuck? Freaking drugs and mushrooms and other stuff which people take, then going crazy, and they not only hurt themselves, they also hurt the people like which is around them. Freaking bitches. Why? Like, okay, you hurt yourself, it's your choice. But why you start to doing some hell and hurt other people? Another motion. Yeah, terrible. It's terrible. Poor people who go into this such a situation. Okay, story 10.
I've had many night terrors in my life, and I've struggled with many sleeping disorders. Hell, I can't even count how many times I've experienced sleep paralysis. It's a truly disturbing thing.
Hello, Jeff. How
I've
you
also
doing?
woken to seeing spiders and
Yeah.
other giant bugs in my bed countless times, for them to only disappear as I start to snap back to reality.
Snap
But the
back
hallucinations
to
are
reality.
always so
the
real and
ghost
vivid.
gravity.
I always find myself jumping out of my bed screaming, throwing pillows at the non-existent bugs. And don't even get me started on the constant nightmares I have. There was one stressful week of school that I was up to my ears in homework with all my classes, and I was admittedly exhausted mentally and physically. With half of my assignments due the next day, which was Friday, I was up extremely late for a school night. It had to be like 3 a.m., and I had to be up in 3 hours. When I finally finished all of my assignments, I literally crashed into bed, and I was out cold faster than I could remember. And that night, I was having a bad dream again. The best I could describe this bizarre dream: I was for some reason in this linear building that I was trying to escape, and in each passing room I kept finding candies, like it was a Halloween attraction or something. But in the dream I was running away from something, and the something I was running away from kept laughing. It was a child's laughter, and it sounded like it was coming from everywhere. What caused me to wake up was when I made it to what was presumed to be the final door of the building. The laughing was the loudest now, and when I opened the door, I woke up in my bed. I couldn't move. It was happening again. Then there was a laughter from the middle of the room. I moved my eyes to focus to the middle of the room. There were 4 people standing in the center of the room. It was like a family, a tall male and female, and then a small boy and girl. They were all holding hands and they were all laughing, looking at me with giant grins on their faces, impossibly wide grins. And as I felt this tight pressure in my chest, which is common in sleep paralysis, I started to feel like they were getting bigger, or just getting closer, like they were all floating towards me. When my body finally permitted, I threw the sheets off of me and threw my pillows into the middle of the room and screamed. But the pillows
What
hid
the
nothing,
heck?
as the 4 figures were gone, and the horrible laughing had stopped. I had never experienced a hallucination like that, and I have had sleep paralysis many times. I had to see my doctor the next day, who prescribed me new medication. Since then, I've still had my share of night terrors, but nothing even close to that.
Damn, poor guy. With such a horrible problem. It's really scary. Going through something like that. Damn boy, leave the mushroom. Well, but this time it's not mushroom, it's like this guy have problem. with sleep and psychology. That's why he had such a dream, you know. So when he went to the doctor, so just a poor guy. Terrible. Let me finish little Rio. Do you have any scary story, guys? Don't be shy, we will listen. You're stronger than you know, braver than you believe, and love more than you can imagine. Your presence makes the world a little bigger. Oh, cute. Hello, Audrey. How are you doing? I think this is for everyone who is here. This is praise for you guys, for everyone, for every people. So, how you doing, Audrey? Victoria, have you ever seen a ghost? No, thanks to God. What about you, Jeff? Damn pumpkins. This is hard to mix the colors. Make it looks very nice. This pumpkin? Are you kidding me? They made wrong color. I have to mix. Because it's not like that. Bitch. Bitch. I said what I said. I brought the big famous instead. Okay, now I need something where I can mix the color. Then. What the heck? I listened a couple of knife point horror stories on Spotify. They were not too bad. Really? Funny. No, never. But I have scary dreams sometimes. Like getting chased by a woman with shakes for hair. What? Oh my gosh. So I have visited many haunted places and found numerous signals on the detector. I believe they are real. You can feel the presence. Oh shit. Well, maybe yeah, but oh my god. I also listened to the Magnus Archives. Also on Spotify. They are not too bad. Also nice stories. Oh, so cool. But I don't have subscription for Spotify, so we will listen something on YouTube or something in world where people have heads but they don't have faces but snakes. Oh my god, Jeff, are you eating mushrooms before sleep? And so I need color 15. Color 15, but this is not the right color. Okay, where I can mix it. Good. Found a leaf. A leaf. Do 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 do. So let me mix the colors. Give me the colors, beige. Of course, we kinda need to put there white, I think, but I will try to do like that. Oh, yeah, this is what I need. They give me wrong colors. Damn, boy. Just a second, I find more stories. Let me just paint a little bit until paint became dry. Become bubbles. do, do, do. Do, 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 do. I love the color. It looks good. What is this bubbly boom? Boom, 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 boom. Bubbles. Bubbly boom. What the heck is that? Okay. Do-dum, do-dum. One pumpkin almost ready. And pour do quick until it not dry. Let me mix it. think you can find some. Just a second. Something. Do, do, do. Ooh, I love the colors, how it went. Fuck. Stories on YouTube too. The bad thing is that most of them are really long. But this story was from YouTube. Didn't you like it? Lol. Of course I can. So I'm so proud of new design. I'm gonna send just a picture of the design. Oh, okay. And gonna share the original here on next Halloween drawing stream. Oh, interesting. So it's kind of like a short stories there we had. Like it's not so long. We have 10 more stories. What the fuck? Oh no. So oh, damn, this is alien. Blog, why you delete the song? Lol. Hi Dorinche, hello Liquid Wisdom! Good to see you, hope everyone is happy and well. Hope you do! You told me off. I told you to send it in song recommendations. I didn't told you to delete it. Lol. Well, but whatever you want, lol. So let's listen the next story. Oi, not wrong. This was loud.
This happened about 7 years ago, ironically on Halloween night. It was pretty late, close to midnight, so all the kids in the neighborhood had already gone home. Even our neighbors across the way had stopped playing their corny Halloween tape. You know, the ones with the creaking door sounds and witch cackling. It was just me and my cousin Q, sitting in the living room. Now, my other cousin, who was about 4 years old, had left her doll laying on the floor, face down. It was one of those baby live dolls or something like that. The ones with the moving eyelids. Q had issues with that doll the moment it was bought. She hated it and said it was creepy. In fact, she often threw it down the basement stairs. I had no problems with it, and so it stayed on the floor so my little cousin could pick it up in the morning. It was very quiet for about half an hour, until I heard a loud, rasping, shuffling noise that seemed to be coming from outside.
Lol.
It sounded like an older man right outside our window. I turned to Q, who looked back at me. "Did you hear that?" "It's probably the neighbor's tape again," she said. She went back to typing on her computer. It was silent for another minute before we heard the rasping noise again, louder this time. It sounded like the man was trying to say something. I got up from the couch and peeked out the window.
Absolutely no one out there, not even in the street. Our neighbor's house was dark. It was as still as any night in our quiet neighborhood. "There's no one out there," I said, looking back to Q. She didn't say anything. I was kind of getting freaked out. Another minute passed, and this time there was whispering, but loud whispering. I remember it sounded like a kid and a woman. Q finally looked up from her computer. "It's that doll," she said. Of course she thought it was. She was very superstitious. I gave her a skeptic look. Let me say this, I don't believe in the paranormal. I leant down and picked up the doll. It was fine. Her eyes were closed. I forgot to say that it had a voice box thing in it, but it didn't have any batteries. I put it back down. "No, it's not. Just leave it alone," I told her. It was silent again. I went back to my seat on the couch. The rasping started again, and I heard the man say something garbled, followed by wheezing. I jumped up from the couch. I was going to see if it was coming from the backyard. Just as I started walking, I noticed that the doll had moved a little. I picked it up again and turned it over. Its eyes were open and it was heavier than before. I dropped it and Q threw it down the basement again. I still have no idea what to think. Q denies it ever happened, and my little cousin never asked about her doll after that. I saw the doll only one time after that, on the top basement step laying on its side. This time, I pushed it down the steps. I was up late reading on a cold night. My bedroom is on the first floor, and I live alone in a relatively quiet and wooded area. For that reason, a lot of my windows didn't have any blinds, since it wasn't as if people driving by were able to look into my house. Plus, I like waking up to the sunlight shining in my bedroom. But this one night made me regret never getting blinds in the bedroom. After finally shutting my reading lamp to get some shut-eye, I had a good 2 minutes of silence before I heard the sound of something hitting the window. It sounded like a single tap from a person's fist. I was facing away from the window and didn't want to turn around. I was used to hearing things like tree branches brush up against the walls and windows, but I distinctly recognized this sound to be a fist hitting glass. The thought that somebody might be outside my window watching me frightened me. The fact that somebody would walk all the way onto my property to my bedroom window. I tried to accept that maybe it was just a tree branch, but a second and single knock at the window confirms my fear. It was a fist hitting the glass, and somebody was outside my window. I figured that if I just ignored it, they would go away. Maybe it was just some punk trying to mess with me. If they thought I was sleeping, they would get bored. Another knock at the window came, and I desperately tried to just stay still and show no reactions. But when the fourth knock came routinely, I decided enough was enough. I should confront this jerk like a real man. I turned to the window and just barely caught a glimpse of a black shadow quickly moving under the window. For some reason, actually seeing something at the window killed any courage I had, and I ran to the kitchen phone and called the police. They said they would have an officer over in 10 minutes. When I hung up, I saw something in the corner of my eye. I turned my head and saw somebody standing outside my kitchen window, surely looking at me. Only for a second though, because as soon as I noticed, he took off. Somebody was watching me through all the windows. Then I received a disturbing phone call. It was my neighbor, who also happens to be my best friend. He happened to notice through his window that 3 people dressed in black walked onto my property earlier, one of them with a sharp, shiny object in his hand.
Oh shit.
This only made me panic even more. I ran upstairs where I knew I couldn't be watched and hid in the bathroom. I heard constant single knocks at the front door downstairs. No way it was the police. I just prayed they would get there in time, and thankfully, moments after the knocking stopped, I heard heavy banging at the front door, followed by someone screaming police. It turned out to be the cops, but whoever the 3 men were already gone into the woods. It might have been more than 3, I don't even know. All I know is they were never caught, and that I went out to get blinds the same week. My parents are divorced, and I was living with.
Damn, what the fuck? Terrible. Some man's come. Poof. Those with moving eye. Yeah, that's that thing is a creepy box. Yeah. Lol. Doesn't matter, just explain the dancing in the moonlight. Then I say its lyrics. Oh, I see, okay. You like it? It's not finished yet, but I kinda headache. I'll finish later. It's almost done. It's an alien with skull eyes and a mushroom body. You draw it by you? I thought it's some generated picture from the AI. Welcome in Discord, leaked wisdom. You, an alien with skull eyes and a mushroom body. This is the illegal friend. Oh my god. I see. I used to have an alien pendant I wore around my neck. Hmm? There you have a design if you want to paint it too. Yeah, guys, there in Discord some of pictures you can paint, color, so and share on Discord with us. It's really good. I like the mushroom body. Yeah, it looks nice. Somebody is watching me. Somebody will tell me I never. I'll be watching Burning Man stuff. Burning Man? What do you mean? Yeah, man, that's so scary. Thanks, Terry. I used the base of AI, but it was wrong, so I'm perfecting. Oh, I see. Amazing. So good. Looks amazing. So let me finish this thing. So, next story.
With my dad. I'm an only child, so the only time I was around kids my own age was when I was out making friends with kids on the block. There was this one kid that lived on the corner of my block. His name was Tom. I met him while riding my bike. He strangely invited me over to shoot some hoops with him, so I did. He was a lot older than me. I was 12 and he was 16. I found out after hanging out with him a lot that he was an only child as well, and that he also lived with his dad. At first, I found him very relatable. I gave him my phone number and he would call to hang out. Sometimes he would come over and play video games. But then he started getting weird. He would call non-stop. If I didn't answer, he would begin to leave annoyed messages. He would call 5 or 6 times before coming over and ringing the bell. If my dad wasn't home, I usually didn't answer it. But when he was home, he would force me to hang out with Tom, even though I told him he was creepy. I biked with Tom back down to his house while pretending to listen to him babble on about stupid shit. This kid would never shut up. I needed to find a way to get him to stop looking for me. Then, for the first time, he invited me into his house. I really didn't want to go in, but it didn't seem I had a choice. The second I walked into the door, the foul, disgusting odor of his house filled my lungs. Clothes were tossed all over the floor, broken glass in one corner of the room, and what looked like coffee stains on the wall. It was the most disgusting place I'd ever seen.
What the fuck?
And then, a huge, shady-looking man walked out from another room. He looked at me with a very intimidating look. I felt myself backing up away from him, until Tom introduced him as his father. The man just gave me a big grunt and stomped off into another room. It was official, this kid was a fucking creep. I needed to get away from him for good. I decided I didn't even want to be in that house anymore and just made up some excuse to go. I think that I said that I forgot I had a doctor's appointment, and at that moment, his smile slowly faded as an unhappy, if not extremely angry expression crossed his face. He didn't even give me any response. He just looked at me with this unnerving stare. I left in a hurry and ran back down the block to my house. The door was locked, surprisingly. I unlocked it with the key my dad made me carry and found that he wasn't home. I really wanted him to be home. And then I found a little sticky note on the fridge saying he was called into work for a possible storm emergency. So that night before going to sleep, I checked my email for a response from somebody on eBay. But instead, I had about 5 new emails all titled in capital letters, and they were all sent from an email named tomtom20@aol.com. It was him. I never gave him my email and still have no idea how he got it. One of the emails was titled, "You made a mistake." Another was titled, "I know where you live." And the rest were filled with profanity and threats. I was only 12 and was extremely intimidated by this, so I was ready to call my dad, but as soon as I was heading to the kitchen phone, I heard the sound of rustling bushes outside. I opened the blinds of the window that was facing the bushes and was greeted by the face of a huge man who I instantly recognized as Tom's dad.
Oh shit.
I called the police, but by the time they arrived, he was already gone. When my dad came home early because of this situation, we went on to get a restraining order as soon as possible. Tom and his dad moved out about a month after that.
What a creepy thing.
I moved into a house that my aunt and uncle had been renting out for several.
I like it when people share their creative work. This is what the world needs. Nice. Yeah. Damn creepy Tom. Yeah. Freaking Tom. But it's so creepy.
Several years after they built a new place. I spent a few months alone before a buddy from work asked if I was looking for a roommate. I thought about it for a few days and ended up allowing him to move in. It was a 2-bedroom place with a den and office in the garage. He decided he wanted his own space, as the bedrooms were right next to each other, so he moved his stuff into the office in the garage.
Oh, no.
And I have to admit, it was a pretty cool setup he had. The only problem, he didn't have a bathroom or kitchen out there, so he would use the kitchen and toilet in the house. We worked different schedules, so I would often leave the house unlocked for him. One night, I went to my girlfriend's house for dinner. After I got back, I decided to grab a 6-pack of beer I had bought the previous night. When I opened the fridge, my beer was gone. I assumed it was my roommate and went into a blind rage. I stormed out into the garage and slammed his bedroom door open. He was sleeping and rolled over. I screamed at him, asking why he drank my beer without asking. He said he didn't touch my beer and rubbed the sleep out of his eyes. Having lived with him for a while, I was pretty good at judging when he was lying. I felt he was telling the truth. My heart sank as I came to the realization that somebody had stolen our beer from the fridge and whatever else. We went back into the house and made sure everything was in its place. The TV was there, all the furniture. It wasn't until I went into my bedroom and realized my $2,000 laptop was gone that we began to panic. My buddy called the cops and we searched high and low for the beer and laptop, thinking I might have misplaced them. We soon gave up and began to search the yard for whoever had done this. We didn't live alone in this house though. There was a room that had been built on several years after the house was built. My aunt's dying mother spent her last couple of years living there, as it was easy for my aunt and uncle to care for her during her sickness. When she died, they began to rent the room out to a strange woman, before eventually moving out themselves and renting the rest of the house out. The woman remained there until we moved in, and my aunt and uncle had their concerns with her. They believed she was a drug addict, which became evident to us during our stay there. She behaved erratically, and we would hear strange noises from her end of the house all hours of the night. Her brother moved in several months after we did, which was strange because her place was a 1-bedroom suite. We figured he just slept on the couch or something. He was even weirder than her though. He wouldn't acknowledge me when I pulled up into the driveway while he was sitting having a smoke. Trying to make conversation with the guy was pointless. He basically just stared through your soul. One night he even asked my roommate if he could score him drugs. That night during our search for the burglar, we went out to the garage door, only to find bare footprints in the snow. The footprints led from their suite door to our garage door. We put 2 and 2 together and began banging on their door. We said we knew it was him and he better answer the door. Someone inside lifted the curtain and made eye contact with me, which to this day still gives me chills. The cops showed up and took down all our information. They scoured the house and found nothing and no one. We showed them the footprints and explained that the people living in the suite were drug addicts. We gave the officers their names. They ran their names in their cruiser and came back to inform us that the man had a warrant in another province and was convicted of breaking and entering several years back. The cops knocked on their door for several minutes and identified themselves as police officers to no avail. They informed us that because the warrant was from out of province, and technically the man hadn't committed a crime, there was nothing they could do about it. The cops left and it was 1 a.m., so my roommate and I went to bed. The door that connects the two weirdos' suite and my part of the house can only be locked from their side of the door. I completely forgot about this before falling asleep. During the night, I heard footsteps outside my door and a few loud bangs. My doorknob began to shake violently. I was barely awake and brushed it off as my roommate. Luckily, I always lock my bedroom door at night. The next morning, I asked my roommate what was so important at 3 a.m. that he would need to try and get in my room. He told me he slept through the night and hadn't even got up to go to the bathroom. My heart sank. I told him what had happened during the night. I have never been more glad that I locked my door at night, due to some silly childhood fear that I've held onto into adulthood. To this day, I wonder what would have happened if I left my bedroom door open and that man got into my room. Needless to say, me and my buddy moved out of that place a few weeks later.
Oh my god, the moral of the story?
It happened on my friend's 20.
Close your doors, guys. Close your doors. Close your doors. What the heck, before going to sleep, close your door. Anyway, when you're at home and don't want to go anywhere, close the door. Ooh. So just a second, let me make mark here. Wait, not this. Another color. Another color between can reach this place. No. It's not here, it's not. I don't like it.